You're very like censored, I guess.
I try to be.
I've never heard you like fly off at the mouth or nothing like that. Maybe unless you're coaching. I don't know
my
about
moments.
Yeah,
I have my moments, especially
I don't know
coaching.
about Coach Jermichael,
Yeah,
but
he's different. He's a little, they would say he flies off the hinge at times.
right. Hey, unless you got to give 100 kids.
Bill, you need a hat like that.
Maybe me, but not Jermichael.
I got one for you. I got a yellow one, just like this.
Okay, nice.
He needs to be censored.
Shut up. Shut up. So how you been, man?
I've been well, man. Been very well, man. It's been a great summer.
Yeah,
Had a lot
good.
going on as far as basketball is concerned. With our program had grew tremendously this past year.
That's great.
So we were super excited about that, man. Our Kids Rock program and our Lady Rock program, basketball program. We had a lot of teams this year, man. We had over 100 kids in our program.
Wow. Man, that's awesome.
So super excited about that. And, just work, man. My job gives me the opportunity to go through different experiences. I work for a company called Maneri's Dream Alliance.
Okay.
And we basically do different programming for youth across the Eastern Shore. So I work in the Dorchester County area. Of course, I still do things in Wacomico down here, but I work in the Dorchester County area, man. And not too long ago, we were able to get some things together, and one of my staff was able to take 7 kids to Niagara Falls.
Oh, wow.
Great.
So that was a great experience with that.
Yeah.
Man. So it's been a wonderful summer, man. Just trips and basketball and travel. You know how it goes sometimes with
Yes.
baseball and things. So
yes.
But it's been amazing, man. So
Yeah,
super excited
that's
about
great.
that.
Yeah, talk to me about your basketball program, because I know you said, with the Kids Rock, and you've been doing this for a while.
I've been doing it for 15 years.
Wow.
Me, Bubby Brown, and Craig Winder started this about 15 years ago. And we've been consistent. It's been a lot of programs that have come up and faltered off and things of that nature, but we've been consistent for 15 years. But what we've done now, us and some other organizations have decided to partner. We're still talking to some organizations, but we've decided to come together instead of and make one big mega program. Instead of everybody having these small programs and you got a piece to the puzzle, she got a piece to the puzzle, I got a piece to the puzzle. Why not come together and complete the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
If the goal is to make a pipeline for the kids on the Eastern Shore, we now have a program called For Shore Basketball.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of us guys. You guys just got a JV coach down Decatur, Corey Holden.
Yes.
He's a part of the program as well. So just a bunch of coaches, young guys from around.
Shout out to Corey Holden. I don't know him yet, but
you'll get to meet him
very soon.
You'll
Very
meet him
soon.
very soon. Your son will definitely
Remember that name, Bryce Baker? Okay, just want to let you know.
For sure. But me and Bubby have kind of set back. Bubby coaches has been in high school. He's involved as well. So we're just trying to let the younger guys take the reins, but be there to help and give some guidance and be a part of it as well. So I'll still be coaching, but I'm in the background as well. I got the 14U girls, and I'll have the 12U boys in this program.
So For Shore Basketball.
For Shore Basketball.
What does the season run?
Well, for me, it doesn't stop.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the things for me, man. I try to do year-round basketball. Like you said, some kids are taking that football break right now where they're playing different football for different programs. But I got some kids that they play basketball year-round. Yeah. Especially my girls, right? Like if they're not cheering, then they playing basketball. So none of them really are cheering right now, except for like a couple older ones that went to high school. But my 8th grade girls, man, we rocking and rolling, man. Like we don't stop.
Wow, man, that's
we got
great.
a tournament coming up in October.
So what are the ages?
So
your teams?
we'll be doing 2nd grade through high school boys.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing 3rd grade through high school girls.
Okay.
So just super excited about that, man. The stretch is a lot bigger. We're still looking for coaches because our objective is to do an academy program along with an elite program. Right, we don't want to leave no kids behind. We don't want to say you try out and you wasn't good enough.
Right.
That's not going to be a thing for us.
Okay.
If we feel like you're not good enough for the elite team to travel with the elite team, we still have an academy program where you can get some skill development. So we're still looking for coaches for that. And things for a lot of other teams kick off in March. After the real high school basketball season, it really get going. But myself, man, I love basketball year round. So
absolutely.
And I don't coach anything else. I can't coach soccer. Can't coach. I played football. Was a good football player. Too cold to be outside coaching football.
Right.
So
you like sit on the sideline.
Yeah, sit me inside of a gym, man. Where it's warm and safe.
Or maybe if he is out on the football field, he'll be in one of them little pods.
Yes, and those heated seats.
Right, one of them little pods.
For sure, I would definitely buy something like that.
So if people are listening and they have kids who want to sign up, when's the best time to sign up for the basketball?
Man, they can contact me, of course, anytime. 443-497-8049 or on social media, Jermichael Mitchell, anytime.
Okay.
And I'll put them with the right coach for those age groups. We literally have young men who have coached or played high school basketball in this area a part of the program in every age group. And then the girls side of things is going to be dope because we're trying to merge a couple, my program and another program that's dominant in the area, Lady Exposure. But our objective is to try to merge with them as well and make the girls side just as big.
Yeah.
So, super excited about that. I'll be trying to talk with Miss Sheila very soon. But our objective is just to make a large program where we're under one umbrella. So when we go places, we really represent the Eastern Shore.
You know what I like to see every once in a while, and you don't see it that often, but every once in a while you'll see like a boys basketball team, and then they'll have like a girl on there who comes in and just dominates.
So we have a couple
love
of our
watching
young
that.
ladies who could play with the boys.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a God's honest truth. There are a couple young, even the younger ones, like
a co-ed team.
What I really loved this year was how we had some 4th and 5th grade young ladies who took on playing 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
A large jump, and they did well.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, they went places, they competed, they weren't afraid. And that group of young ladies is going to be very special. It's like our 4th and 5th grade team. They're going to be very special. I'll watch them grow over the next couple of years, but they're a very special group of young ladies who are never afraid to play against the boys.
Right.
Who are never
Right.
afraid to hop on and be co-ed or whatever that looks like. So super shout out to them because they had no fear.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that in a very long time in the girls basketball.
Right. Oh, that's great. When's your next tournament?
I leave October 26th, 27th. I'll be in Laurel, Maryland.
Okay.
With my 14U girls.
Okay.
Like I said, my boys, a lot of the 12U boys are playing football for the different programs in our area. And we try to respect the football coaches, right? They respected us during the summertime.
Right.
We let them. So we try to be seasonal. If they're playing football right now, we don't want nobody to get hurt playing basketball. So we try to give respect to those coaches and leave those kids alone right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, look, and I love the seasons too. When once they get a little bit older, you got kids that play multiple sports.
Yeah.
Are you all about playing multiple sports?
I
as
am.
Well?
Multiple sports causes kids to use different muscles.
Yeah.
Right? And then you never know what you're good at. Like, that's one of the things. Again, I always use the young man Dante Trader Junior from Delmar.
Oh yes,
Great basketball
Maryland.
player, right? Great basketball player. Was a great Pop Warner football player. Dad decided to make him play lacrosse. He started playing lacrosse. Was great at it. Was ranked in the country at lacrosse. Now he's a superstar football player in Maryland.
Yes, he is.
So he had 3 options that he could have went. Left basketball a long time ago. I guarantee you he could pick up a basketball and still play to this day.
Right.
But it was one of those things you never know, right? You never know what college is going to come knocking on your door for what sport. So we encourage kids to play as many sports as they can.
Nice.
You always going to, have your favorite. I had my favorite. And a lot of people I was actually a better football player. I say that all the time. I was a better football player than basketball player, but I was so in love with basketball.
That's the first time you ever said that. I didn't know. I knew you were always a basketball guy.
Yeah, if you ask people, man, I was a way better football player than I was basketball. I just
Wow.
loved basketball a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
I encourage all kids, male, female, try to play as many sports as possible. I'm be very hypocritical because my son ain't doing that, but I encourage all kids to you never know what your opportunities may be in the future if you play multiple sports.
Nice. Well, you got Salisbury School once again this year.
Yes, Salisbury School. I'm back for another year. It's been some changes. My star power students have left. I had my seniors who have graduated. I've had one of my star players who I encouraged to go back to Stephen Decatur. I felt like he would be a great asset to go to Decatur this year, go back to Decatur this year and help out. So shout out to Noah. He would have been my star this year. But after a good conversation with him and his mom, I felt like it would be better for him to be with Decatur. That roster, the games that they played this year, the season that they had last season, he would get better looks this year. Again, we have a great schedule. Don't get me twisted. I'll have a young team, no superstars. But I look forward to it. That challenge, man, that was one of the reasons. At first, I was going to walk away. My athletic director had moved on. He's in
Right.
South Carolina now. And I was going to walk away from it all.
Kids
And
need you.
Yeah, I was going to walk away from it all, man. And I thought about it, man, and it's like, man, I love challenges.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I love adversity.
Well, you say no,
Yeah.
one or two big superstars or
Yeah.
whatever, but you make the superstars.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Bill. Like, I got in a little conversation yesterday with one of my friends. I'm a coach who develops talent.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't need to have a bunch of superstars to win. I promise you, though, if would have had some of the talent that some coaches in this area have had over the years, I would have won multiple state championships, right? Like
Absolutely.
I've never had the talent that some of these coaches have had, and I've always been able to develop talent to be okay. That's the biggest piece. So I'm a coach developer. I love player development.
Yeah.
If I had to say I had a great strength, that's what I would say my strength is. I'm a great basketball coach, great mind, but I love the development side, the training side of things. So I will definitely develop some players. I have about 3 that I can think of right now who were good last year, but the stars were just in their way. So I know they'll make it a great thing. And we got a good season this year, man. We played at Washington High. We still play some public schools locally, which was I was grateful for that. Those
Did you
schools
do anything with Summer League?
I didn't, not for
Okay.
high school.
Okay.
I ran my own. I had like 3 summer leagues going on this summer myself.
Right.
So, but I went down to watch BJ's Summer League. I
Yeah.
watched the Summer League at the Salvation Army. I enjoy basketball, man. So anytime it's high school and they playing, I'm trying to be there. So, but my kids, private school kids travel a lot.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they're all over the world.
So
All over the world.
Salisbury School, you guys who are some of the other schools that you guys play?
Our normal conference is the EZAC conference,
Okay.
which I'll be honest, right now is kind of in limbo.
Okay.
We're actually in the process of seeing how either that can be fixed or we can move to a different conference. That's actually St. Peter and Paul has gone to that conference. Gumpston has gone to that conference. So we're trying to see what that looks like. But we still have Delmarva Christian. We still have Worcester Prep. We still have Salisbury Christian. We still have a couple other people in our conference.
Right.
But that's why it's so big for me to play outside of the conference, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we get a heat. Oh man, you're in that conference. It's not as good. It's kind of watered down. You're right, but our public school record is, a lot of people don't know these things. Cambridge was one of the best teams in the area last year.
Yeah, they were.
We played very well when we went to Cambridge last year, right? For us to be that private school, unnamed,
I remember.
unknown.
Yeah.
We played very well against public schools locally, and that's all I've ever wanted to do, right? There's no public school that can actually say they whipped me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's always a good game and we compete.
I know you're a good, eye for this. What schools do you think are going to be top of the list this year?
Oh, we do our rankings. I'm a part
Yes.
of that. I believe that again, you'll have in the north, you will have Cambridge. Of
Yes.
course, will be good. I believe there's going to be a few teams that are going to surprise some people.
Okay.
I watched Colonel Richardson in the summer league this summer.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they actually won the summer league in Salisbury this year. So I believe in the north, it may be a mix up. Queen Anne's is always pretty tough in the north. Girls wise, in the Bayside North, I would say it's going to be Queen Anne's again. Queen Anne's had a young team full of freshmen. Played against High in the Bayside Championship. So I believe down south it's going to be a battle between High and Parkside girls.
Okay.
This year, I truly believe. High had the edge last year. Had a great basketball team. Had Selah Foreman, amazing talent. Parkside has some good kids as well, and there's has some senior leadership from Zion Oji, who's a tall young lady who plays very well for Parkside as well. So I believe in that. And boys wise, man, Decatur.
Yeah.
I just be honest and be
I
real.
was waiting for it.
Yeah. To be
I was
honest
like-
and real, man, BJ's always loaded down there.
Yeah,
And not to
yeah.
put no pressure. It's no pressure on BJ. But Decatur just has great talent. With them building the programs that they're building down there between football and basketball, they just have.
I know there was a couple, Bryson and Kareen, and
Yeah,
I know a couple
yeah.
of them, graduated.
Yeah, facts. But
So,
they're still
but
loaded, man. You
we're
had the
still loaded,
Wise, you
yes,
still have
yes.
Day returning Bayside Player of the Year,
Yes.
defensive and offensive. So it's like you got that player coming back to your team. You're excited.
Got some big players
But they
coming
have
up the
some-
pike too.
Yeah, and that's the piece, man. A program. That's the one thing I can say about certain schools, man. You know what those coaches know what it takes to build a program, right? This isn't something. This is about life after sports, where they're still actively involved and they're still training and they're still talking to you and they're still actively involved in your life.
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches don't do that. A lot of coaches coach for the season, right? You see them in November, you see them till March. You don't see them again until next November.
Yeah.
And that's not how you build a program, right?
No,
So
I
that's
agree.
the biggest piece. You got to have that peer relationship, coach to player, player to coach. And it's got to be personal sometimes, right? Like you got to be more like a father figure, big brother figure to these kids and nowadays. So
Well, it's so this is what I love about certain coaches and certain people who coach, and like you said, like they make it like their life, like yourself, for example.
Yeah.
I asked you about you've been in the summer league. I think
yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple times on DSN that I saw you standing in the background watching down there in Snow Hill. I'm pretty sure I saw you on there.
Facts of life. You actually see. I coached the All-Star game.
Yeah,
BJ let me coach the All-Star game. So I'm around.
Shout out to Coach BJ.
Yeah, for sure.
There's not one tournament, not one basketball tournament that we played all year, like this past season, that Coach BJ didn't make an appearance.
Yeah, you got to know. You got to see the talent.
He just showed up.
Yeah, facts of life, man.
He don't have no kids there.
Yeah,
but he does have kids because they're his high school kids.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, like, people like that, like that's who you need to.
Yeah, and it's a couple. Like I said, it's a couple of them around that make sure they stay in the gym, make sure they seeing what's going on with
Sean
the kids.
Tucker.
Yeah, Sean is one. Coach Fuchs is one. Bubby Brown is one.
Yeah, Bubby.
Yeah,
yes.
they stay.
There's not one Decatur game.
Right.
There's not one any tournament that I've been to that those group of guys that I just named that we're talking about that I don't see just show up at the
they're great
games.
men, they're great coaches.
Yes,
they love basketball.
Yes.
So that's what it is, man. Like when you put great minds around the sport, you're able to grow it. One of the things that we are trying to do more of, we talked about it last year, and Bubby brought this up a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even pay no attention. But it wasn't a lot of kids last year that went to college, right? For the sports that they play. In football, amazing job sending kids to college in the area.
Right.
We're trying to get basketball to that level, though, right? We've had a lot of kids from this area go D1, North Carolina school, Decatur, a couple other schools have sent kids straight D1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're doing a wonderful job of building that pipeline. And what we've talked about is just coming together again and trying to build a pipeline for our kids who have talent to play whatever level of college basketball, from community college to the D1 level. But to get off the shore. You know, it's great to play in these local leagues. It's great to be.
Is it a harder path for basketball?
I believe it's grades, Bill. You want me to be honest and
okay.
real, right? Like I truly believe we have to make sure that our kids are focusing on grades. We don't talk about the NCAA clearinghouse enough. Kids are going to high school, picking their own classes. Parents really don't have that much involvement with the picking. You get the list of classes, come home, whatever. But our kids aren't taking the right classes to go to college. Right? It's very vital and understand. Like, and I'm not knocking it, but we talked about this a couple years ago with like core math.
Yeah.
You can't take core classes, those smaller classes, and think you're going to college and be okay with that, right? When you're getting great grades with smaller classes or classes that don't really mean anything, that's cool. But you got to take those honor classes. You got to take those classes that are really trying to prepare you for college. And you got to make sure you're taking the right amount of maths, the right amount of Englishes, the right... Like,
to get the credits.
Right? So, to get the credits. So, we want to be ahead of the ball game, not behind the ball game. So, ninth grade, you should be focused in.
And I was going to say, it starts
ninth grade.
Freshman year.
It starts eighth grade. Because in the eighth grade year, you should have at least 15 colleges you would like to go to and why. We don't talk about that enough. Not just go to, I want to go to Duke. Well, what you going to major in? Don't just tell me you want to go play a sport, right? Because if your arm gets broken, your leg gets broken, you twist something, tear something, you still have your brain. So, when you go to this school, what interest would you have that if sports fell off? What am I going to major in that's going to keep my interest at that school? A lot of kids say all the time, I want to go to Kentucky. I want to go here, there, and there. They don't know what they're going to major in at those schools or what majors those schools even have. So you have to figure it out in the eighth grade year. And then it trickles down. Ninth grade year, you got 10. 10th grade year, you're down to 7. 11th grade year, you're down to 5. Your senior year, you should have 3 colleges across the board that you know for a fact. You should have put your feet on the campus. You should have been talking to some counselors. There's a whole bunch of steps that it takes for us to do. But again, you have a lot of kids who are going home to single parents, who are going home to parents who've never gone to college and have no experience. That is why those programs are very vital and important, right? You play for Decatur, you play for North Carolina. These football coaches and these coaches, they're already building that pipeline. They're making those phone calls. They're putting you on those college campuses. You saw the camps that they went to this past summer. They're going to college campuses to these camps. It's nothing like putting your feet or a child on a college campus to make them believe they can go to college.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such an experience. It's such an experience.
What I've learned, definitely, I mean, on the baseball side is, you go to these showcases, you go to these different, events with all the college recruiters that are there, which is great. But from what I've heard from so many different people is the way, at least with baseball, the way to get your, seen, the way to be seen is to go to the college you want to go to their summer camps.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Exactly.
That's how you
say it all the time. I ask.
So is that how it does? Is that how it is with all sports?
I truly believe that. I believe that. I believe you want to go to a school. Each school has a camp.
Yeah.
Whether it's basketball, lacrosse, whatever it may be, whatever sport you want to play, go to that camp. Like you said, that's how you get to notice by those coaches.
Go once, go twice. You know, let them start seeing you.
Yeah, and I was talking to Coach Shelton Hawkins. He does a great thing. He did something in Cambridge
shout out to
recently.
Shelton. Yeah.
They painted a court in Cambridge and broke ground this past weekend. A great event. He goes to the Duke camp every year. Shelton remembers kids' names from that camp each year. That makes sense. So it's building relationships.
That's awesome.
It's letting people know that you're there. And one of the key things, like he told me, is just go to those camps. Because if you want to go to that school, coming up through those camps, those coaches remember who you are, right? So it's just vital that you put yourself in a great position to win. And a lot of our kids don't know how to do that by themselves.
Right.
You have to have someone who can guide you or can help you. And again, that's why these programs have to start talking about the clearinghouse. Our kids have to take the right grades classes through 9th grade on up. And we fall short. We fall behind. That's why a lot of our kids got to go to community college, right? And nothing wrong with that, but they got to start off there because they didn't take the right classes in high school.
Wow. We have Jermichael Mitchell in studio. We got more.